I like consuming good media because it lets me pretend to be smarter than I actually am. Media that leaves a deep impression and has you pondering its meaning for years to come. But I also like consuming bad media. Every season, there is a plethora of mediocre shows to waste your time on. They bring nothing new to the table or have anything profound to remember. 100 isekai spawn in every year, masking the same rehashed plot and overdone gimmicks. It's an assembly line of unremarkable shows guzzling down your throat to only tickle your little nub, which only produces a subtle smirk and a audible So imagine my surprise when the anime about gilfs actually made me feel something. Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again is one of the many generic looking shows that came out last season. A show that many people probably ignored based on the lack of discourse around it. It's a story about an old couple, turning young again. Ine and Shozo are farmers out in the countryside of Japan, living out their menial days tending to their orchid farm. One day, they stumble across a golden apple amongst the dying branches of their marriage tree. And of course, they pop that sucker right into their mouths. The next morning, they find themselves young and hot again. And when you suddenly see your wife is now her hot younger self, the first order of business is obvious. You start hoeing and plowing. No, you go back to farming. You see, the show revolves around this gimmick. Their younger bodies and elderly experience make for really sappy and sweet scenes where they do comedic feats, usually through the power of love. While other protagonists may use their divine gift to eliminate all their problems or maximize their benefits, Ine and Shozo remain simple farmers. The characters do not experience much growth, if any. There is no sense of urgency, no big bad boss or corporation to take down, nor do they go on a quest to uncover the mystery behind their predicament. They simply carry out their normal routines while navigating their new status quo. Now you may be thinking, this sounds like every slice of life in the history of anime. And you're right. Take any slice of life anime trope you can think of and apply the gimmick old person is now hot and you can probably guess the outcome. Elderly peers fawn over the newly vigored couple. Their grandkids' maid cafe is not doing well, so of course they step in to boost sales. They even have a goddamn embarrassed hand-holding episode, which 60 years of marriage, guys, come on. Like, what are we doing here? It is not a stretch to say the show is generic. That's not always a bad thing. There are times where you just want to turn off your brain and consume generic slop. It's like plain rice. It complements the main dishes by bridging the powerful flavors. And despite the apparent generosity, I can't help but smile knowing this old couple has been blessed to experience what they were not able to do when they were younger. Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again does nothing new or different from any other show in its genre, at first glance. The cute, wholesome moments are not what makes this show stand out, but the quieter, somber ones. The show seamlessly weaves in and hints at real issues that plague society. Characters express common fears that can resonate with many of us. Living in the past, being forgotten, fear of the future, death, just to name a few. But the show never divulges an answer to these hard-hitting topics. It's not about solving problems with anime logic or the sage wisdom of an elderly couple. It's about appreciating the little things, the small moments that are often overshadowed by something greater. And it doesn't take a grandiose adventure, a dark city world, or some overly bombastic character to hammer home this sentiment. One of the moments that really struck a chord with me was when Ine had her memories rebooted prior to meeting Shozo. Their eldest son and his family came to visit them, and for whatever reason, the elderly couple decided to keep the memory loss a secret. When everyone else went to sleep, the son reveals to his parents that his company may go under, and he may lose his job. Despite his father showing concern and suggesting to come work for the farm, the son does what many people would do, put on a brave face and brush it off. He tells his parents he doesn't want to be a burden and that he will figure things out on his own. He even blames himself for not working hard enough and that he'll simply work harder. But what do you do when working harder just isn't enough? That's when Ine grabs her son's hand and says what we all need to hear.
それ以上頑張ってはダメ。上の人たちがあなたの頑張りや優しさにつけ込んでいる限り、あなたがどんなに努力しても 決して状況は変わりませんよ。人間だからくじけていいんです。頑張らないことも大切なこと。また立ち上がればいいだけの話。だからいつでもここに逃げておいで。あなたはいくつになっても私たちの息子なんですから。
It's a very simple yet powerful scene, made even more impactful when sandwiched between comedic beats. And it's not a coincidence that this scene hits so close to home. There are more times than I can count when I denied my friends and family to stay home and work on my hobbies. I rationalized that it was for my future, telling myself that I need to do this or I'll be stuck forever. I'm certain many people can relate in some way to expectations becoming great burdens. Humans have a very unique position in life where most of our problems are inflicted not by nature, but ourselves. The desire to pursue greatness, fame, riches, to make content that no one will watch. In an age of instant gratification, there's this underlying pressure to get things done as soon as possible, that if we don't, we may get left behind. And yet, many people sweep their problems under the rug and put on this facade of I'm fine. We tell ourselves that if we just work harder, we can achieve what we want, push just a little more, and everything will be okay. Until the weight of it all comes breaking through the cracks and you end up feeling lost, isolated, and stuck in this perpetual cycle of the grind set, thinking, I just don't know what to do anymore. That's when the show coddles you and tells you it's going to be okay. Ine never tells her son what he should do or berates his efforts. She knows that certain things are inevitable and cannot be changed. All she can do is tell him that she will always be there for him if he ever falls. Touching scenes like this are sprinkled throughout the entire series. One moment the characters are joking around, and the next a character will say something that might have you thinking they're literally me. Some scenes even made me regretful towards my grandparents. It makes you ponder things you might have never considered from their perspective, the thoughts they may have of you and your future that they may not live to see. The show blinds you with its gimmick and well-ventured tropes, but it is between the sweetness that the show captures you with its oddly profound moments and hits you hard when you least expect it, all to hammer home its message: find solace in the simple things. The future is terrifying. Sometimes the unknown keeps us from acting. We are often so bogged down by what ifs and if onlys that we forget to appreciate the things that keep us pushing forward in the first place. A nice hot bath, the stupid jokes between friends, the forgettable shows that put a smile on our faces no matter how small, and the reassuring words that you are not alone and it's okay to feel disheartened. Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again is a feel-good series as simple and easygoing as the characters within its world. It doesn't tell you anything you don't know already or haven't heard before, but it will remind you of the things that truly matter. And it is when you're writing it off as just another slice of life, does the show make you say something only good shows do. Damn.